The Ackerman clan stands as one of the most overpowered bloodlines in Attack on Titan, rivaled only by the royal Rice family itself. And sitting at the absolute peak of recent Ackerman history are two monsters in human form, Levi Ackerman and Kenny Ackerman. Kenny, feared across the interior as Kenny the Ripper, earned his name by slaughtering nearly 300 military police with nothing but a blade and a grin. Meanwhile, Captain Levi, humanity's strongest soldier, lived up to his title every single time he touched the battlefield. Two killers, two geniuses, two Ackermans who move like nightmares with a pulse. Both of them wield blades with surgical precision, possess fight IQ that borders on precognition, and have the speed and power of what can only be described as many men stacked into one body. But if we want to settle who the truly strongest Ackerman is, we need ground rules. Because this isn't a casual bar argument, it's a full breakdown. Rule 1. Both fighters are in their absolute primes. This means Levi with all 10 fingers intact, and Kenny before age and blood loss slowed him down. Rule 2. Each fighter uses the ODM gear they're most familiar with. Levi enters with his original military ODM gear, the setup he mastered to perfection. Kenny fights with his anti-personnel ODM rig, the very weapon system that turned him into Levi's greatest human threat. With that established, let's dive into the ultimate Ackerman showdown. Now stop. Before we can even think about putting Levi and Kenny in the same ring, we need to actually understand the kind of monsters we're dealing with. These aren't regular soldiers. These are two completely different weapons built inside the same bloodline. Starting with Levi, the guy is only 160 centimeters tall, literally 5 feet 3, but every gram of that frame is pure efficiency. Around 65 kilos of condensed muscle, trained for one thing, absolute explosive movement. His prime sits right in that early 20s window, the uprising era version of Levi, the one with all 10 fingers and 0 injuries holding him back. This is Levi with the gas tank full, the reflexes razor sharp, and the instincts already perfected from years of surviving places most soldiers wouldn't last a day in. His equipment is the classic Scout Regiment omnidirectional mobility gear. Nothing fancy, nothing experimental, just the pure setup he mastered down to a science. Dual ultra-hard steel blades, high-output gas canisters, and grapple hooks that basically turn the entire environment into a playground of angles he can attack from. Levi doesn't need upgrades. He is the upgrade. Then you've got Kenny Ackerman, who visually is the complete opposite. Standing at 190 centimeters, 6 feet 3, and carrying around 90 to 95 kilos, he looks like he was built to break people in half. Kenny in his prime was mid-30s, the era long before we met him bleeding out and joking about it. His true prime version had the stamina, the speed, and the ruthlessness sharpened from decades of hunting humans instead of titans. And his gear? Completely different philosophy. Kenny runs anti-personnel omnidirectional mobility gear, a setup built for urban murder, not Titan combat. Instead of blades, he's pulling out twin revolvers with insane quick-draw speed, using ODM momentum to turn entire city blocks into ambush zones. And just to add flavor, the guy always keeps hidden knives ready for the close-in personal throat-slitting work that made Kenny the Ripper more than a nickname. So on one side, you've got a compact, hyper-efficient killer designed to carve through anything in his path. On the other, a towering executioner with an entire toolbox built around ending human lives in the fastest, messiest way possible. If you want more videos like this, hit like and subscribe. It genuinely helps the channel beat the algorithm and grow this awesome anime series. Before we get into who actually wins this fight, we need to set the stage. This showdown is happening underground, in a space similar to the Rice Estate Cavern. Pillars everywhere, low visibility, tight corners, and barely enough room to breathe, let alone swing around freely. Basically the perfect arena for two Ackermans to try and kill each other. Now, this environment matters because it brings out the best and worst in both fighters, and it highlights just how different these two actually are. Starting with Levi, tight spaces almost feel like home to him. His smaller frame and lighter build let him weave through gaps most soldiers wouldn't even notice. And when he activates ODM gear in a place like this, it stops looking like equipment and starts looking like a natural instinct. Think back to their first encounter. Levi should have died. Kenny had the drop, the shot, and the perfect angle, but Levi turned a tavern into a racetrack and vanished through a window like it was nothing. Anyone else would have face-planted into the floorboards. Levi treated the whole room like it was built for him, but he's not flawless either. Underground limits how wide he can swing, how far he can accelerate, and how much he can rely on big evasive arcs. Levi has to fight tighter, sharper, and way more aggressively. One mistake in a place like this and he's getting scraped off a pillar. Kenny, on the other hand, thrives in this kind of chaos, just differently. Where Levi uses movement, Kenny uses positioning. When they met in the Rice Cavern, Kenny literally baited Levi using the crystal terrain. He pretended to fall back, let Levi chase, then ambushed him the second Levi dropped his guard. That's Kenny's whole thing. He knows exactly where to stand so that you don't. This is why Kenny wins fight IQ, plain and simple. He spent decades hunting humans, not titans, and learned how to create kill zones, fake openings, and trap people using nothing but instinct and experience. The manga even hints at this. Kenny isn't dangerous because he's strong. He's dangerous because he understands the flow of violence better than anyone alive. But Kenny has weaknesses too. His anti-personnel gear is heavier and stiffer, which makes fast turns harder. His revolvers lose all value once Levi gets in close. And if he misreads even one angle, Levi is already on him with twin blades ready to send him straight to the floor. So if we're being real about it, Levi wins ODM movement. His ability to accelerate, dodge, and redirect himself is just too clean. He moves like he's built for three-dimensional combat because he is. Kenny wins pure fight IQ. He reads people, sets traps, and manipulates terrain better than anyone Levi's ever fought. He thinks 3 steps ahead and acts like he's already been in this fight 100 times before. 2 different strengths, 2 different approaches, but in this underground arena, both of them matter, and both of them will decide the flow of this fight. Alright, so after breaking down everything, the stats, the gear, the instincts, and the arena, it's clear this fight isn't just 2 Ackermans throwing hands. It's 2 completely different interpretations of what being an Ackerman even means. Kenny is the better tactician, the better trap setter, the better reader of human movement. In terms of raw fight IQ, he absolutely wins, and with his anti-personnel ODM gear, he turns any tight underground environment into a kill zone. But like Armin explained, the problem with guns is simple. Compared to blades, they're too slow, and they force you to sacrifice mobility. Kenny has to slow down, aim, commit to angles, all things Levi never has to think about. Levi's whole fighting style is the opposite. His gear amplifies him. His movement never breaks. Everything he does flows. He accelerates, dodges, redirects, and cuts through space like the laws of physics don't apply to him. And that's before we even get into the Ackerman instinct. Mikasa's awakens through Protect Eren. Kenny's activates through Kill, Dominate, and Cause Fear. But Levi never had an awakening moment. No trigger, no sudden power spike. He was already operating at Ackerman levels before he even understood what an Ackerman was. He's the only one whose ceiling feels unfinished, like he's been fighting on pure instinct this whole time, without ever hitting the true limit of what he can do. So when you put this version of Levi against Prime Kenny, everything Kenny brings, the experience, the height, the weight, the IQ, the firearms, none of it holds together long enough to stop Levi from closing in. And once Levi gets close, the fight is already over. Kenny's gear can't keep up. His guns can't fire fast enough, his movement isn't fluid enough, and his instincts, while sharp, aren't sharper than Levi's blade. In spite of everything Kenny has going for him, Levi still takes it. His speed, his movement, his blade control, and that unexplained Ackerman instinct put him on another level, even compared to someone as lethal as Kenny. Levi doesn't just win because he's humanity's strongest soldier, he wins because even among Ackermans, he's something different. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure you hit like and subscribe. It helps push the video through the algorithm so more people actually get to see it. And if you want another Ackerman matchup or a full character psychology video, drop it down below. I'll make it happen.